And I call the honourable member for Durack.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, rural and regional families want the best for their children. They are no different to their city cousins. But government policies, state and federal, often lead to unexpected or inequitable outcomes. Grade 7 students in Western Australia, now commencing in high school, provide a good example of this. Kids destined for boarding school are now leaving home 12 months earlier. As a consequence, the family incurs the costs of boarding 12 months earlier, meaning an extra year of fees for the family budget. Madam Speaker, now I know boarding school education is not mandatory, but often it's the only option for regional families. Many of mine who are in this position in the seat of Durack, some 1.6 million square kilometres, they're sparsely located. I sincerely hope that this change, with the grade 7s commencing at high school, will bring about better education outcomes, because in the meantime regional families not only have a pull on the purse strings, but of course also on the heartstrings. Now, if I could just turn now to tertiary education, I refer to the review of Regional Loading's final report published by the Commonwealth, which found, unsurprisingly, that regional higher education differs from metropolitan areas in the following noteworthy ways. Higher participation in education rates are lower. Regional secondary school completers are much less likely to undertake higher education. Potential students face greater disincentives to study due to costs and distance, higher deferral rates, students are more likely to be from a lower socio-economic background and are more likely to be female, older and care for dependents and thus less able to move to study. Higher education participation rates amongst 15 to 24-year-olds in Western Australia are significantly lower in regional areas, some 5.3% compared to Perth and Peel, which is 11.8%. So you can see, Madam Speaker, this is a big issue in Durack, and what I think is this big, great divide, and of course it is shameful. In Western Australia, we do not have regional universities, unlike the Northern Territory and also Queensland. Although there are very good TAFEs in my electorate of Durack, and the Kimberley Training Institute that has a campus in Broome and other parts of the electorate is noteworthy, the popular Geraldton University Centre is effectively a cooperative of universities providing courses in the Midwest. But as an aside, and disappointingly, there are no West Australian universities providing education services at that particular university. However, I do acknowledge that the Curtin University and the University of Western Australia have both had an involvement in the past, and UWA still contributes at a governance level. Notre Dame University has a campus in Broome, which is in the process of scaling back its degree offerings and instead providing more vocational education and training courses. I've not given hope that one day we will see, at the very least, an offering of maybe first-year courses in the Pilbara, which is crying out for this in this part of Durack. I will continue to prosecute the case with the help of those passionate educators in Port Hedland, including businesswoman Jan Ford of Port Hedland. One of the consequences of the proposed federal education reforms will see universities with more money that they would be able to offer as scholarships to kids in the bush, and of course that is to be welcomed. It's anticipated that these scholarships will extend to cover the cost of accommodation and education. But for those regional students who miss out on a scholarship, the decision to go to university is often based on the health of the family finances. For young people in the city, this is less often a consideration, especially if they continue to live in the family home. For those that qualify, and I acknowledge it is very complex, youth allowance does provide some financial relief while studying. There are other amounts available for, say, travel costs to the city, but these are only small offerings and really pale into significance with respect to the cost of getting an education. I'm of the view that the federal government must ensure that all young people in Australia, especially those from the bush, have access to some financial assistance that will help with the cost of their education. Madam Speaker, I believe it is only just. As part of a group of regional MPs, I've been lobbying the Education Minister and the Minister for Social Services to bring about such a change. The group met this week with the ministers to continue to put the case. I'm pleased that they have listened and will take action to investigate this inequitable state of affairs. I'm determined that rural and regional young people enjoy the same educational opportunities as urban students, particularly in Durack, nothing more and nothing less. In a modern country like Australia, I don't think that's asking for too much.